Hello, everyone. This is Mahidhar. And on behalf of the Manage Engine AD Audit Plus team, I want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. The topic for today's webinar is log on auditing, and the duration of the session is 30 minutes. Before we start, I hope you guys are able to view my screen and listen to my voice. In case you're not, please let me know over chat, and we'll get it fixed before we get into the webinar. Thank you for your response. We'll take a minute to do this here before heading into the webinar. Regarding questions that you might have during the course of this session, use the Q&A option to shoot them across. I have another team member here with me who will address them for you. And since we are all working from home, worst case scenario, if there are connectivity issues, please bear with me for a few minutes. I'll get it fixed. And if I'm not able to do that, you'll always receive a recording of this webinar mailed. It'll get mailed across to you. And this is only worst case. Before diving into the contents of the webinar, this webinar is sponsored by Manage Engine AD Audit Plus. For the benefit of those of you who are new to AD Audit Plus or perhaps new to Manage Engine itself, I'll give you a very brief introduction. Manage Engine is a brand that is trusted by a whopping 9 of every 10 Fortune 100 companies to manage their IT. Manage Engine offers a wide suite of IT solutions. AD Audit Plus is from the stable of Manage Engine. It is basically an IT auditing solution that helps keep your Active Directory, Azure AD, Windows member servers, workstations, file servers, and NAS storage devices secure and compliant by providing full visibility into all the activities happening across these components. That said, we'll get into the agenda for today. This is the agenda for today's webinar. We'll be starting off with an introduction where we'll be looking at the need for logon auditing. We'll then move on to understand the difference between authentication and logon. We'll then look at how you can ensure that all authentication and logon activity happening in your environment gets recorded, how you can record all this activity via audit policies. We'll then take a look at the critical event IDs and the event fields contained within these event IDs that you need to keep track of. We'll then move on to the limitations of auditing logon activity using Windows' native functionalities and how you can overcome these limitations. I'll finally end with a very brief overview of AD Audit Plus's capabilities. Let's start by taking a look at the need for logon auditing. A logon activity needs to be audited to meet various security, operational, and compliance requirements of an IT environment. And this slide, as you can see, we've put together 3 of the most important use cases from each of these standpoints. From a security standpoint, you need to audit logons to detect unusual and potentially malicious activities like a high volume of logon failures, for example. From an operations standpoint, you need to audit logons to track the active and idle time spent by users at their workstations. This will in turn help you keep tabs on employee productivity. From a compliance standpoint, you need to audit logons to ensure that you have a comprehensive audit trail of all the logon activity happening across your domain. This is a requirement of several IT mandates like SOX, HIPAA, PCI, GDPR, and more. So it goes without saying that logon auditing is a must. However, the process of auditing logons has a very steep learning curve. And this webinar will provide you with precise information on this topic and hopefully make it easier for you to get on top of the process. Let's start by understanding the difference between authentication and logon. In very simple terms, authentication is performed by the computer on which the user's account resides, and logon occurs on the computer to which a user gains access. Now, since authentication is performed by the computer on which a user's account resides, when a user uses a local user account, local user accounts reside on The SAMDB of local computers, Security Accounts Manager, or SAM in short, contain local user accounts. So when a user uses a local user account, authentication is done by that computer. And so the corresponding authentication event also gets logged in that computer. However, when a user uses a domain user account, domain user accounts aren't stored on local computers. Domain user accounts are stored on the Active Directory database, which resides on domain controllers. So the user, when he uses a domain user account, gets authenticated by a domain controller, and the corresponding authentication event gets logged in the domain controller. The case, it is pretty straightforward as far as logon activity is concerned. Whether a user uses a local or a domain user account, logon activity always gets logged in the very computer that the user accesses. If you've not wrapped your head around this, do not worry. We'll be taking a look at two of the most common real world scenarios, starting with the first one, which is on your screen right now. In the first scenario, let's assume that there's a user called Bob. Bob buys a computer for his personal use. This computer is a standalone computer. It's not a part of any domain. And since it's a standalone computer, the only kind of account that Bob can use to log on to this computer is a local user account. When Bob uses a local user account to standalone to his standalone computer, to log on to his standalone computer, the computer performs both the authentication and logon because the computer contains Bob's account and the computer is the one that Bob is accessing. So both authentication and logon occur on the computer, and the corresponding authentication and logon events get logged on the very same computer. This is a very straightforward case. In the second scenario, let us assume that Bob logs on to the computer allotted at his workplace. As we all know, workplace computers are a part of a domain. They're not standalone computers, they are part of a domain. Bob can use either a local user account or a domain user account to log on to this computer. But in order to access shared resources like a shared folder, for example, he has to use a domain user account. So let us assume that Bob uses a domain user account to log into the domain joined computer, which has been allotted to him at his workplace. In this case, since he's using a domain user account, the computer would not be able to authenticate Bob. The computer communicates with the DC, which authenticates Bob, and so an authentication event gets logged in the DC. And once he's been successfully authenticated, Bob logs on, gets access to the computer. He logs onto the computer, and a corresponding logon event gets logged in the computer. So, and the access computer performs the logon, while the DC that holds Bob's account performs the authentication. A point to note here, the term Microsoft uses to describe authentication activity is account logon. The term Microsoft uses to describe logon is simply logon. Remember this for the rest of this webinar. I hope you've all grasped the difference between authentication and logon. I also want to tell you that during the course of this session, you needn't take anything down. I'll be sharing an ebook on logon auditing by the end of this session. I'll be sharing it over chat, and the ebook will contain all of this information and more. So during the course of this session, just focus on the information that I'm throwing at you. Now, since we've all understood the difference between authentication and logon, we'll move on to the next. I hope we have all understood the difference. We'll move on to the next section where we'll be looking at how you can ensure that all authentication and logon activity happening in your environment is logged. Authentication and logon activity doesn't get logged by default. You'll have to enable security auditing to ensure that all authentication and logon activity happening in your environment is logged. Security auditing can be configured via audit policy settings or advanced audit policy settings. Let's first take a look at audit policy settings. You should all be aware of this. Audit policy and advanced audit policy settings can be enabled via group policy objects, or GPOs in short. In a GPO, you can find audit policy settings under computer configuration, Windows settings, security settings, local policies, audit policy. There are only two categories of audit policy settings, and they are highlighted in red in the table on your screen. The first category is the audit account logon category, which helps track authentication activity. And the second category is the audit logon category, which helps track accesses, that is logons to a computer. Microsoft recommends that advanced audit policy settings are configured on computers running on Windows Server 2008 R2 and above and Windows 7 and above. So we'll be focusing on advanced audit policy settings in much more detail. Before I take you through the most important advanced audit policy settings, I want to tell you the basic difference between, I want to take you through the basic difference between audit policy and advanced audit policy settings. Advanced audit policy settings let administrators exercise granular control over which activity gets recorded. That's the only difference. This helps administrators reduce the event noise generated in an environment. This is pretty evident from the number of settings that each of these categories offers. While audit policy offers just 2 categories of settings, advanced audit policy offers around 15 categories of settings. You can find the 9 most important advanced audit policy settings highlighted in red in the table on your screen. In a GPO, advanced audit policy settings can be found under computer configuration, policies, Windows settings, security settings, advanced audit policy configuration, audit policy. This table, as you can see, provides information on a subcategory of advanced audit policy setting, the category that it belongs to, whether it's account logon or logon, account logon meaning authentication and logon meaning logon only. The kind of activity that a particular subcategory of setting will help track, and the event volume and the event IDs that get generated when you enable a particular category of setting. I'll take you through the first entry. The first entry, audit credential validation, belongs to the account logon category. It helps track NTLM authentication activity. This is an important category because the default authentication that Microsoft employs to authenticate users is Kerberos authentication. So when Microsoft uses NTLM authentication, such events need to be, such activities need to be tracked. And once you enable the audit credential validation setting, the event volume that gets generated is high on DCs and low on member servers and workstations, which is typical of all authentication activity. As we saw earlier, in a domain environment, authentication is always done by domain controllers. So when you enable any of the settings associated with account logon, the event volume generated will be high on DCs and either low or nil on member servers and workstations. When you enable audit credential validation setting, the event IDs that get logged are 4774, 4775, 4776, and 4777. As I mentioned earlier, you needn't take anything down. You needn't take any of this down. I'll be sharing the logon auditing ebook by the end of the session, and you can always come back to it. A point to note here, a lot of planning needs to go into the advanced audit policy settings that you're going to configure in your environment. And you need to plan keeping 2 things in mind. On the one hand, you need to decide what activities, resources, and users you want to track. And on the other, you need to keep an eye on the event volume that gets generated when a particular setting is enabled. If you do not plan well, if you rush and enable settings, you might miss out on logging critical activity, or on the other end of the spectrum, you might end up logging every activity, which will make it difficult for you to spot the critical ones. So you need to plan before you enable specific categories of advanced audit policy settings. And once you enable advanced audit policy settings, the corresponding events will get logged, and you can view these events from the event viewer. A total of 69 events get logged in relation to authentication and logon activity. We'll be looking at the 12 most important ones. They're highlighted in red in this table. This table provides information on the category a particular event ID belongs to, whether it's authentication or logon, and the description of the event ID. For example, the first entry, event ID 4768, is related to account logon, is related to authentication, that is, and gets logged when a Kerberos authentication ticket, that is a TGT, is requested. Special mention about event IDs 4624 and 4625, which are entries 4 and 5 in this table. These two event IDs are perhaps the most important event IDs as far as authentication and logon activity is concerned. Event ID 4624 gets logged when there is a successful logon. And event ID 4624 helps you track unusual and potentially malicious activities occurring in your logon activities occurring in your environment, like a logon during non-business hours or a logon from uh, an inactive user account, for example. Event ID 4625 gets logged every time there is a failed logon in your environment. Event ID 4625 helps you track brute force and other password guess attacks, which are characterized by a sudden spike in logon failures. Like I told you earlier, you can find all of these you can find all of these event IDs in the event viewer. And once you double click on an event ID, you can view the properties of individual events. These are called event fields. Each event contains multiple event fields. We'll be looking at three of the most important event fields associated with these events, starting with logon type. A logon type basically, in very simple terms, describes how a logon occurs on a computer. There are a total of 12 different logon types. This table provides information on the 6 most common ones, and they're highlighted in red. The most common one is the first entry, logon type 2. It's called interactive. And logon type 2 gets logged when there is a logon via a computer's console. The next most common type is entry 5, logon type 10. It's called remote interactive. And logon type 10 gets logged every time you take a remote to a computer. Next, we'll be looking at two other important event fields. They're closely related. The logon failure status codes and Kerberos failure codes. The term Microsoft uses to describe logon failure status codes is simply status codes. This event field is a part of event ID 4625. And if I miss saying this, logon type is a part of event ID 4624. Logon failure status codes, which Microsoft calls status codes, is a part of event ID 4625. And Kerberos failure codes, which Microsoft calls simply as failure codes, as a part of event ID 4769. As the name implies, logon failure status codes provides information on the reason why a logon failed. There are several codes. We've listed the 10 most important ones in this table. Kerberos failure codes provide information on why authentication failed. Again, there are several codes, and we've listed the 8 most common ones in this table. Both of these tables are self-explanatory, so I won't be taking you through them. Other than these, there are also other common event fields which are common to multiple events related to logon. Like the client address event field, which provides information on the IP address of the computer involved in the logon activity. The SID event field, which provides information on the SID of the account involved in the logon activity. And the account name event field, which provides information on the logon name of the account involved in the logon activity. You can find, like I told you earlier, you can find all of this information by double clicking on an event ID in the event viewer. So far in our session, we've looked at how you can ensure that authentication and logon activity occurring in your environment is logged via the use of advanced audit policies, the critical event IDs that you need to keep track of, and the event fields which are a part of these event IDs. We'll next be looking at the limitations of auditing logons using native tools and how you can overcome these limitations by leveraging AD Audit Plus. The most important limitation, the first one, is as we've seen, logon occurs onto the computer. Logon events are logged on the computer that a user accesses. So when a user accesses a domain controller, when he logs onto a domain controller or a Windows member server or a workstation, the corresponding logon events get logged in these computers. Security logs do not get replicated between computers. So what this means is that your organization's logon audit trail is fragmented across multiple computers. And aggregating all of these logs from all the computers in your domain It's a very time consuming process. You can leverage Windows Event Forwarding, WEF in short, to read logs on any computer and forward only the events that you want to one or more Windows Event Collector computers. However, successful Windows Event Forwarding deployment requires a lot of expertise. With AD Audit Plus, you get a central repository of all the logon information occurring across your environment with just a few clicks. No expertise required. AD Audit Plus basically compiles data from all the configured computers and provides the central repository of logon information. The second limitation arises because each logon activity creates multiple events. And we all know the amount of logon activity that occurs, the volume of logon activity that occurs in a domain. Considering the huge volume of events that get logged as a result of this, using native tools to spot a critical event is like looking for a needle in a haystack. It is a very laborious process. You can attach a task to the security log and ask Windows to send you an email notification whenever a particular event ID is generated. You can do this. But the snag is that Windows cannot raise red flags. For example, Windows can send you an email every time event ID 4776, the event ID, one of the event IDs associated with NTLM authentication gets logged. However, Windows will not be able to notify you when only during cases when event ID 4776 gets generated and there is a logon, and immediately after that, there is a logon from an unauthorized computer or logon during non-business hours. So Windows doesn't have the capability to raise red flags. AD Audit Plus provides you with the functionalities to define thresholds based on volume, time, and other criteria to detect such critical activities. And what's more, you can also choose to get notified via email as well as SMS whenever such critical activities occur in real time. You can also automate response actions to mitigate the impact of such critical activities. I'll be taking you through this functionality of AD Audit Plus later in this webinar. Limitation 3 is in quite a few cases, you need correlation to get the full picture. For example, to calculate the duration of a logon session, logon event ID 4624 needs to be correlated with log off initiated event ID 4647 using the logon ID event field. Again, you can imagine how labor intensive this is. AD Audit Plus processes logs in the background. It does the correlation for you and provides you with the full picture. For example, there's a report which I'll be taking you through later in this webinar called the user work hours report. It correlates multiple events related to user log on and log off, workstation lock and unlock, screensaver start and stop to provide you with the exact information on the active and idle time spent by users at their workstation. Now, to get this information by sifting through logs and manually correlating is very, very time consuming, if not impossible. AD Audit Plus does this job for you. So the crux of the matter is AD Audit Plus eases the process of IT auditing. Next, I'll give you a very brief overview of the top 10 features of AD Audit Plus that make it a one-stop IT auditing solution. Using AD Audit Plus, you can get instantly notified of all changes occurring in your Windows Server environment, changes to users, computers, OUs, groups, GPOs, permissions, and more. You can gain complete visibility into all Windows logon, all Windows user logon activities, starting from logon failures to logon history. You can monitor the active and idle time spent by employees at their workstations. You can detect and troubleshoot account lockouts. AD Audit Plus has this report called the Account Lockout Analyzer report, which provides information on the source of authentication failure, with which you can clearly pinpoint the reason why an account got logged out, which might be due to a service using a stale credential, for example. You can get a consolidated audit trail of privileged user activities. This is again a requirement of several IT mandates. You can not only track changes and logons occurring in your on-prem AD, you can also track changes and sign-ons occurring to your cloud Azure AD. So you get a correlated view of all the activity happening across your hybrid environment. You can audit file accesses, file ownership, and file permission changes across Windows, NetApp, EMC, Synology, Hitachi, and Huawei servers. You can track changes to files that are not being shared, files residing on your domain controllers, workstations, and member servers. This will help you ensure system integrity. You can mitigate insider threats by leveraging the user behavior analytics and response automation functionalities of AD Audit Plus. And you can get audit-ready compliance reports for several IT mandates such as SOX and GDPR. I'll be taking you through a few of these functionalities up next. Very quickly, I'll do it very quickly, not taking too much of your time. These are the top 5 reasons why businesses across the globe choose AD Audit Plus. We've been named as a Gartner Peer Insights Customer Choice for SIM for 2 years in a row now. As you all know, the Gartner Peer Insights Customer Choice distinction measures the real world impact of our product as reported by our clients themselves. So we are very proud of this recognition. As of date, we are trusted by 10,000 plus organizations to meet the IT auditing requirements. We are licensed on a per server basis and pricing starts at $5.95. This is in stark contrast to other IT auditing tools in the market, which are licensed on a per user basis. With per server licensing, even with an increase in the number of users, you can continue to aggregate data from all the licensed servers without having to pay more. We offer multiple options to evaluate the product before you purchase it. To test a product in your environment, you can download a fully functional 30-day trial from our website. To have an expert take you through all of AD Audit Plus's features, you can schedule a personalized demo at a time of your convenience. To see AD Audit Plus in action directly from your browser, you can launch a live demo, which is what I'll be doing right now. I'll be taking now, like I told you, AD Audit Plus is an IT auditing solution that provides visibility into everything that's happening across your Windows Server environment. And it does very broadly, it does this through 2 major functionalities, through the reports that it offers and the alerts that it lets you configure. I'll be taking you through both of these functionalities using the live demo. To access the live demo, all that you have to do is Google for adauditplus.com. And once you get to our website, you click on the demo tab. And I'm taking you through the live demo so that you can do this along with me now, or you can always try this once this webinar is done. Once you get into the demo page, you can fill this form to schedule a session with any of our experts. To access the live link, you need to click on the live on this URL, which is available in the demo page. And once you click on the demo link, it will take you to the home tab of AD Audit Plus. This is the UI of AD Audit Plus. The home tab provides an overview of all the important changes and logon activity happening in your environment. It provides a graphical view and a summary view. As you can see, the graphical view provides information on top user logon failures, computer management activity, unusual volume of file deletion activity, and more. The graphical view is totally customizable. AD Audit Plus offers many graphs, and you can add any graph that you want to the home tab for your easy viewing. The summary view provides an overview of all the change and logon information in the tabular format. As you can see, it provides information on logon success and failures, user computer group, OU, GPO management activity, domain policy changes, and more. You can also choose to get an email of all the changes occurring of all the change and logon activity happening in your environment on a daily basis using the send daily summary email functionality. Next up, I'll be taking you through a report. AD Audit Plus offers 300 plus reports. I'll be taking you through one interesting one, which I spoke about earlier, the user work hours report. To locate a report in AD Audit Plus, you can use the search functionality of AD Audit Plus. To open the search functionality, all that you have to do is click on / in your keyboard, and you can locate reports. We'll be searching for the user work hours report now. And once I get into the user work hours report, I can choose a period of time and the users for whom I want to view the work hours for. Once I do this, I'll get the in time, out time, the active and idle time spent by the user at his workstation. for the time period that I chose. So you can see how simple this is. And this is how all of the 300 plus pre-configured reports that AD Audit Plus offers work. You can get these reports with just a few clicks, as you saw. And these are the compliance reports that AD Audit Plus offers. These reports are mapped to specific requirements of each compliance. You need these reports to meet the requirements of SOX, HIPAA, PCI, GLB, FISMA, GDPR, ISO 27001, and other IT mandates. Next up, I'll be taking you through the how you can set up an alert in AD Audit Plus. I'll show you how you can set up an alert for a specific use case, which is I want to set up an alert so that I get notified whenever a user called Bob logs in to the domain. To do this, all that I have to do is get into the alerts tab, click on new alert profile, give a suitable name and description to the alert profile, get into category and choose account logon. Since I want to get notified every time Bob logs in, choose all users log on, get into the advanced configuration, apply a filter, the username filter. And once I add Bob here, I'll get notified every time Bob logs in. I can choose to get notified via email or SMS using these options. I can also choose to automate response actions using the execute script functionality, which means I can choose to either lock out Bob or turn off his computer, turn off the machine which he logs on to using the execute script option. Just as AD Audit Plus offers 300 plus pre-configured reports, AD Audit Plus also offers default alert profiles, which you can find under the alert tab. You can also configure alerts for specific use cases, just as I showed you. A point to note here, a few functionalities are not available on the live demo. To access a free, fully functional 30-day trial of AD Audit Plus, you can download it from our site, adauditplus.com. You can find it at the top right corner, the link to the 30-day trial. What's more, you can go from downloading AD Audit Plus to generating real-time security notifications and compliance reports in less than an hour. You can check this out for yourself. In this site, you can also find various resources related to Windows Server and IT auditing, starting from best practices to how-tos to white papers written by subject matter experts and ebooks and other webinars that we've conducted previously. So this website contains a treasure trove of information. Do visit it. With this, we've come to an end of this session. And before wrapping it up, I want to very quickly give you a recap of all that we've covered in this session. We started off by looking at the need for logon auditing from a security compliance and operational standpoint. We then went on to understand the difference between authentication and logon. We then looked at how you can enable the recording of authentication logon activity happening in your environment via the use of advanced audit policies and how you need to really plan before you enable advanced audit policies. We then looked at 12 of the most critical event IDs amongst the 69 event IDs associated with logon, and the event fields associated with these event IDs that you need to be aware of. We then looked at the limitations of native auditing and how AD Audit Plus helps you overcome these limitations, how AD Audit Plus eases the process of auditing logons. And then I gave you a very brief overview of AD Audit Plus. So that's it from me. Do feel free to contact us for any kind of help. We'll get back to you at the earliest. Like I already promised, I'll share the link to the logon auditing ebook over chat right now. I'll also be sharing a poll. If you've got feedback, we'd love to hear it. So please take a minute to leave your feedback.